Hello and welcome again to Protoss Power Hour. This is our second episode, and with us today we have a slightly different cast. We have XT Bright. You want to say hello, Bright? You're just going to stand there?
Hello.
We have XT Cowman.
Hello.
We have our special guest, Clarity Bones.
Hello.
And XT Primal Moon.
What's up?
So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about WCS Korea Group A, B, and C. We're also going to be talking about the new map pool and what that means for Protosses. And then we're also going to be doing some more strategy talk. So, alright. Bright, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I guess we can just start with like WCS Group A, which if you want to pull up the bracket on stream, we can talk about. We talked about it briefly, our predictions at least last week. Group of Sulky, Parting, Pig Baby, and Swagger, who's Killer. And we all predicted Sulky Parting in that order, and that's exactly how it occurred, I guess, first of all. But we can jump right into the games, I guess. I'll give my brief thoughts quick. For PvPs, the games that were lost against Parting were basically like either hyper-aggressive one-base builds or Cheese's in Pig Baby's case. He tried a proxy 2-gate in Parting's main, and Parting scouted it and shut it down because it's what Parting does, and he tried a cannon rush also, and yeah, if the other guys have some thoughts on it, otherwise we'll just show you a clip of Pig Baby's cannon rush, because it was a really cute placement that I guess if you want to be cheesy on ladder you can try out, but the other guys can talk about their thoughts on those two series first if they want.
Anybody got anything?
You pretty much got it, to be honest.
They were pretty straightforward games, like
Sulky
nothing too
Parting.
notable.
Alright
what do
then.
you guys think about like Parting pulled probes when you saw the gateways on Akalon Wastes? What do you guys think about pulling probes against Proxy 2 Gate scout early enough? Or do
I
you
think
guys do that?
I think
you
it's
can
good if
get
it's
it.
in base. If it's like in base, close
Well,
by.
obviously in base.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like if you scout it early, like right after your gateway goes down, I think it's completely fine to pull probes. I think you're not going to be behind.
Really? Pull probes to kill?
Yeah.
Really?
Party
Yeah,
did it and like shut it down completely with just pulling probes. And he wasn't even like behind an eco or anything from it.
Well, he was way
Because
ahead.
the other guy had no gateway, like and no pylon in his main. I've seen Younghwa. Younghwa used to always do that too. I've seen him get proxy 2-gated a couple times in base, and he also pulls probes. So I think it's viable as long as you have surface area.
Yeah. I never do it, so I was just wondering if you guys do it.
Yeah, I never do that. I usually would scout it early. Don't go proxy 2 gate often, but usually just prefer to match them with the 2 gates and,
Yeah.
use your 5 to 6 probe advantage and do it that way.
Yeah. I agree, but
I
I
never
think
really
it's still
thought
fine.
of pulling probes to kill it. It's interesting.
Well, that's all I have.
That's all we have on those straightforward.
Alright, well
PvPs.
we'll
He
we'll
wants to
jump
show
into the
the
VOD
gameplay.
then.
Yeah, you can see this cute cannon rushing placement. Cheese some nerds on ladder, take their points. It's pretty sick.
I mean, there's just so much open space in the main on this map, so...
So he obviously gets his probe stuck and then just pushes it out with the cannon, like you can do on Belshir. And that. But yeah, I mean, basically, if you really want to cheese an opponent, there's a way to do it. If you want to cannon rush somebody. Because they probably won't react as well as Parting does.
Well, you could say
Yeah, killing
Parting's
the
not
probes.
reacting the best too, right? Because he has like probes that aren't doing anything. They're just standing there.
But how would you defend against this? I mean...
You would do what he was doing. This is the right way.
Yeah, but if you don't scout it, you're probably dead.
This is like beyond the right way. He did life stream perfectly, to be honest.
Yeah. I honestly think, like, most scenarios, you're not going to react, like, nobody but Parting's going to react that good, in my opinion. I just don't think they will.
Well, I think everyone, well, not everyone, but I think most people on ladder, they pull probes right away, and most people know, like, 4 probes if you can per cannon, or pylon if it's early enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all you need to know. I mean, this cannon rush is meant to not really be scouted.
Well,
Yeah, it's definitely more effective that way.
I think Party would have lost if we didn't lose people didn't lose the probe.
Yeah,
So
that's the
build a
thing. Like, Parting
a
made that
second
his focus, though. Like, he had the probes
pylon.
there for when that probe popped out, like, to get it.
That's definitely a mistake. Like, you shouldn't ever lose a probe like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. the way he defended was pretty dependent on him killing that first bones, or that first first bones, first fucking probe. It's reading chat. Okay.
Alright, one of you guys can start off then, Parting vs. Sulky. That was actually a pretty sick series, in my opinion.
Anything in particular you want to mention about that, or do you just want me to?
Whirlwind, that was the first game, right? With the Sentry Heavy.
Yep.
Yeah, Sentry Heavy, quick third.
I don't know.
Wow, Kyle. You're so insightful. Alright.
Oh, there's no void rays.
It was outplayed kind of like.
It was a really
Just-
cool opener. Are you going to talk about it?
Not really.
Alright, it was a really cool opener because, like, normally when you see people add a lot of gateways early, it's going to be zealot pressure. And I assume that's what Sulky was kind of thinking too. But instead, Parting took his gases early, and he decided to warp in 8 sentries. And after he sent his first zealot and his mothership core out to, like, harass the third, and he killed, like, the queen and a couple of drones, which is more than you'll typically get with it, but it's always good to go harass with that and make the Zerg build units at least. And then Parting instead warped in 8 sentries instead of zealots, and was like walking across the map with them. But it was just slow lings from Sulky, and he knew it was slow lings because of how early the third was. And like that many sentries just aren't going to lose to slow lings. So you have potential to do significant damage, but even if you don't, you force out a pretty big reaction from the Zerg, which, as long as the Zerg's not droning, you're doing something right. And unlike zealots, sentries stack well better into the mid game, which allows him to take his really quick third that he does and get up a SimCity and be able to defend it. So I just thought it was a really cool build, and I think it would have worked really well if it wasn't against Sulky.
I mean, my problem with the build is that I feel like in PvZ, you need, like as a Protoss player, you need to get to your tech really fast. Like that's the goal if you're going to macro, right? So you need either Colossus quick, Void Rays quick, Storm quick. You need something. And he didn't really have the tools he needed for the, the mid-game pushes or the late to mid-game pushes, even though he had such like a macro advantage, or at least was even on macro. You know?
It seemed like he was going for one of those almost Wings of Liberty, back from Wings of Liberty, where you'd go fast third and then max out on stalkers. Or not max out, but just mass stalkers off, however many gates and try and kill them.
With
But
like
he
the
didn't.
new Colossus?
No,
Like
just
Creator
pure
used to do,
stalker.
or? Oh.
You don't remember that? For,
Like the 11 gate?
No. Like he was like when like Stalker Colossus attack.
No, Bones was saying without. I was talking.
No,
that's
just
what I
blink
thought he was
stalkers.
talking about. He's talking just blink stalkers. So
Oh.
you're talking like the hero 11 gate, like he used to do on Doom Valley.
Yeah.
okay.
And Tomb Valley was the map. It's still so it seemed like he was almost trying to do that, except using his sentries as well, and he was trying to kind of get himself in a good position to be able to force field shit out and whatnot. But he didn't manage to kill the fourth, and against Hydras, that's just a bad unit comp.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he lost to Blending Cloud. But
Yeah.
I mean, he
I
only
think
had
if he
like one
doesn't-
Colossus out, second one just coming out. Did he even have Thermal Lance when he was getting attacked there? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
He had to.
It might have finished when the second one came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he
But
doesn't
one of the
build
Colossus died
Stalkers-
instantly, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't build all the Stalkers, he could have had more Colossus, Storm. He could have had all the tools to fight that army. But
Yeah.
as soon as you start building a lot of or Stalkers, kind of kills it.
Yeah, and with all the sentries, it's not like you need the stalkers. So it was obviously like an aggressive build, but it just didn't succeed all that much. Like, he was doing good to harass, and Tastos is there saying, oh, he's picking them apart, but not really. So, and then, yeah, he's going all those stalkers sacrificed the tech that he would have needed to keep going in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I like the opener. I think you could take the opener,
Yeah.
like the third base
Yeah.
with the sentries. I think that's great. But, maybe change up things from there, try some different things.
Yeah.
Well, do you think the mass stalkers had anything to do with maybe like a potential muta switch?
No. I mean, he was being very aggressive, so Zergs don't like
Yeah.
to switch to mutas if you're being aggressive, because they could die so easily. So he wasn't going to go mutas.
Well, I feel like the new meta is when behind Dark Shrine, when behind a Zerg Muta. I mean, that's normally like a desperation move, I feel. So I don't know if that was, maybe it was some mind games or something along those lines.
It's a good way to punish a Protoss that's not very aggressive and is playing very turtily.
Yeah.
But that's not how Parting plays, so...
Yeah, he plays pretty aggressive. Like, he's constantly forcing the Zerg to build units, so I don't think he was thinking Mutalisks are going to come.
You know, that's probably why he did what he did, too, to be honest, because, like, it feels like every good Protoss build has a way to not have Mutalisks kill you. And I guess that was his answer, just attack instead of teching really hard. But, I don't know. I mean, he's not opening Stargate, right? So, he needs something.
Okay. Anything else on Group A?
Anything specific from Game 2, anybody? I mean, I was once again, I thought Parting played pretty good, but Zolki just is better. At least right now in that matchup.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think Protoss at the highest level understand how to beat Zergs at the highest level right now. Like, you don't really see Rain or Protoss or Parting doing it.
Yeah, is
right.
any Protoss actually beating Zergs in like best?
See what Rain does in Group G.
I know.
Yeah, it's kind of what we're all banking on. Just what can we see in the
That's what I
upcoming
want.
games? what sick cheeses is Hiva going to do against First to not even let it get to that point? All right, yeah, we can move on.
Okay.
The next group I thought was my favorite, at least. I don't know about you guys.
Group B?
Yeah, Group B.
So, Trap was the only Protoss in there, and I think none of us actually picked him to get out of the group, even though we all kind of agree that he was pretty good. But I felt he played like some really sick styles. Like, he also changed up his builds a bit. I mean, the first game, it was Polar Knight, and he tried to be cheeky. Like, Trap is really aggressive, but so is Keen. And he did like a proxy gate that did not work very well because Keen scouted it and put a bunker up and then sent his Reaper across the map to harass. And the proxy gate really didn't do much damage. He ended up killing, I think, just a couple SCVs. Keen got up a bunker, and then he tried to like macro out of it at first. And Keen's like, no, you can't macro, and Proxy's a factory because he knows Trap committed to early aggression instead of getting that quick robo to deny Widow Mines. And then he ended up just bunkering in the natural of Trap, and he killed it off. And so then Trap's like, okay, I'm going to 4-gate now, and Stim and Medivacs got out, and he just kind of died. So that game was like kind of the silliest one out of all of them, but I don't know if you guys have anything else to say about that. I just thought Keen's reaction was really good to what Trap did.
Oh.
Primal?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know a lot about the proxying, the gateway builds. I mean, it seems kind of silly, to be honest. But
Well, okay, since I am somewhat cheesy and I follow a lot of cheesy stuff, what like a proxy 10 gate like that, or like proxy 10 into like Zealot Stalker, what it can really punish is Terran players who go for the Reaper or the CC first, and if they send their Reaper across the map, you can just build a mothership core at home to defend it. And so they have usually almost all Terrans right after they build that Reaper. If they're not walling off at their ramp, they go right into reactor afterward. And so you get into their base with 1 or 2 Zealots and then 1 or 2 Stalkers, and as long as you micro properly and don't get your Stalkers surrounded by SCVs, you can basically just get a free win really quick into the game. But Keen scouted it, and I feel like if you scout it, as long as the Terran just puts a bunker at the top of their ramp, or if they have the barracks at the top of their ramp with a wall off, as long as they're not doing CC first or Reaper directly across the map, they win. You guys comment on that at least?
I mean, I completely agree. I sometimes do mix in like a 10 gate or like a 12, like 11 gate or something. Not proxy, but just like even at my base. And in there, it's very strong. It's the same kind of things.
Yeah.
it's the Caliber build.
Yeah, he does that quite a bit. Okay, and then game 2 though was like, I thought game 2 was pretty sick, at least.
Yeah, we have a VOD of game 2.
Yeah, Belshir. Like, Keen does like an aggressive Reaper into Marine Widowmine drop, and Trap like completely shuts it down. Like, I haven't seen like that kind of aggressive Terran opener do as little as it did. And he goes into Templar Tech right away with Warp Prism, and that's kind of the thing that goes on through this whole group, is Trap shows that he really likes to go Templar Tech and Warp Prisms, kind of like First does, except First mixes in Colossi too. But Trap really likes to stick to that Templar heavy stuff early, and he gets Colossi much later than most players when they open High Templar. And that's kind of about it. I mean, it turns into a really long macro game of like Keen doing sick puts his ghost inside his medevac like Keen used to do in Wing